The media, a lot of outside people who are not Detroit fans are criticizing Dan Campbell big time. I saw Detroit fans criticizing him. I saw people calling for his head, calling for his job. That I don't even know how that conversation comes up. Yes, he did have a few calls that were questionable, but calling for Dan Campbell's job after he took us from the Matt Patricia era to an NFC championship in just 3 short years that he's here? Get out of here. Yes, this man gambles, but he does it all year. He's consistent. If we would have made those catches on the 4th down, Josh Reynolds, the first one especially, was in his hands. It was a tough catch, but at the NFL level, you have to make that catch. But if he makes just that one, Dan Campbell is a genius. And it probably seals the deal. The way that I see it, we've been doing this all year. We've been sealing games like this the entire season. I know it's the NFC Championship. But if we get that 4th and 2, we take the crowd out of it completely. Yes, they scored they got a field goal to come out of the half. But if we go down and get that 4th and 2, their crowd is silenced. The defense is like, man, we can't stop these guys. They're going to go for it on 4th down. They're probably gassed. I think we go down and we punch it in, or we're at least getting points there. But it's going to take the crowd out of it. Now, the other negative side to that is that the crowd gets into it. If they stop it, they get momentum. That's what happened. But Rick, I have to agree with you. A lot of people are wanting Dan Campbell to have taken the field goal there, but we've lived by this all year. We go for it. We try to put the team out of their misery and lock down the game. Badgley has not been that good from 40-plus yards in his career, and especially outdoors. Now, if we make it, yes, we're putting ourselves in a much better position. But this is Dan Campbell football. This is what we've been doing all year long. I've said it. We've lived and died by it. He's going to go out there and do his thing. Most of the time, it's worked for us this year. I think it's been 20 out of 25 times this year we've converted on those 4th down attempts. And then in the playoffs, we were 2 for 2 before this game. So the numbers were there. And then Badgley, I think I have it somewhere right here, but he was, the statistic from him kicking from 40-plus outdoors was not good at all. Not good at all. Like, it was terrible. I know he hit a huge field goal for us against the Rams, but that was indoors, different circumstances, I think. But, it is what it is. This is what Dan Campbell does, and he's still my coach. I'm going to ride with him. I respect the decision. The second field goal, I'm not going to lie, or the second time that we could have taken the field goal, the second time we went for it on 4th down, was a little bit longer. I thought that we should have went for the field goal there. We were down 3. But you know what? Like I said, we've been doing this all year long. We live and die by it. He stayed true to who he is. And if we convert there, who knows what happens to. But, I'm not going to put this game on Dan Campbell. A lot of people want to blame him solely for this loss and the reason why the Lions are not in the Super Bowl. But we got to go back to what I already pointed out. Gibbs fumble, a few drops. We could have had 2 interceptions. One went right off the helmet of Vildor, like I already said, into Ayuk's hands, just unlucky. And then, of course, they go down and score. Very next drive was the Gibbs fumble. And then Cam Sutton had a pick in his hands as well, too. So, opportunities were there to win this game outside of Dan Campbell's 4th down calls. Yes, they made a difference. But if we just executed on the first one, I think it's a whole different ballgame. I think that was what started their momentum and started our downfall. But you can't blame Dan. He's been doing this all year long. If we convert, he's a genius. But since we didn't, people are calling for his head, which is absolutely ridiculous.